I know how it feels to give your best and still be unseen, to walk into a room and feel invisible, to do everything right, and yet, no one seems to notice. If that's you, let me tell you a story you will never forget. In a quiet valley between two green mountains lived a young man named Ravi. Ravi was known for his steady hands and honest work. He carved wooden spoons, bowls, and tiny figurines in his father's workshop. His work was strong and beautiful. But in the town square, no one spoke of Ravi. They spoke of Ramesh, whose carvings were painted with bright colors. They praised Sunil, whose shop was at the busiest corner. Ravi's work sat in the back of the shop, gathering dust. Each day, Ravi worked harder, hoping someone would notice. Yet every night, he walked home with the same heavy feeling in his chest. I am invisible, he told himself. He began to doubt his worth. If no one saw his work, was he even good enough? The mountains outside his window looked calm, but inside his heart, storms raged. He thought about giving up, leaving the village, and never carving again. One morning, as Ravi sat alone by the river, an old man approached. Aging cried and coyotes confided the attempts. He wore a faded brown shawl and leaned on a carved walking stick. His eyes were steady, like they had seen many winters and many human hearts. "You carve well," the old man said, looking at Ravi's hands. Ravi laughed bitterly. "No one notices." The old man sat beside him. "Perhaps you are looking for the wrong kind of notice." "What do you mean?" Ravi asked. The old man smiled. "Come to my hut tomorrow. I will give you something to do." The next morning, Ravi followed the narrow path to the old man's hut, which sat beneath a tall mango tree. Inside, the old man handed him a small clay pot. "Go to the far hill," he said, "and plant these 3 seeds. But here's the rule, you must plant them where no one will see them grow." Ravi frowned. "Why? If no one sees them, what's the point?" "That," the old man said gently, "is what you will learn." Ravi obeyed. He climbed a far hill and found a quiet spot behind some rocks, hidden from the village. He planted the seeds, covered them with soil, and poured water from his flask. Every few days, he returned to water the ground. Weeks passed. The plants began to grow, small green shoots stretching toward the sun. Sometimes he felt silly. No one would see these plants. No one would praise him. But still, he kept watering. Months passed. The shoots grew into strong plants with bright flowers. Ravi felt a strange happiness when he saw them. There was no applause, no crowd, just him, the plants, and the wind. One morning, the old man asked, "Tell me, Ravi, what happened to the seeds?" "They grew," Ravi said. "They're beautiful now, though no one will ever know." The old man smiled. "Yet you kept caring for them." Ravi thought for a moment. "Because I wanted to see them grow. It made me happy, even if no one else saw it." The old man leaned forward. "That is the lesson. Your worth is not in how loudly the world claps, but in the quiet joy of doing what you love. Flowers do not bloom to be noticed. They bloom because that is what they are meant to do." Ravi's eyes softened. He understood now. He didn't carve to be praised. He carved because it brought him peace. From that day, he returned to his workshop with a lighter heart. He carved with joy, each stroke of his knife guided not by the hunger for attention, but by the love of creation itself. Months later, a traveler from another town happened to buy one of Ravi's bowls. Word spread slowly. People began to notice his work, but Ravi no longer carved for their approval. He smiled at their praise, but his true reward was the quiet satisfaction in his chest. Sometimes, the world will overlook you, not because you're not good enough, but because they're too busy looking elsewhere. If you tie your worth to applause, you will always feel empty. But if you tie your worth to the joy of what you do, you will never be unseen in your own heart. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who feels invisible right now. Like and subscribe for more stories that remind you, you matter, even when morn is watching. And remember, the flowers on the far hill are still blooming, even if no one sees them.